Hello, my name is Summer Janae and welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing another video in the Government Contracts 101 series, and I just want to first and foremost say thank you for those of you who are following along in our Government Contracts 101 series, and say if there's anything additional you'd like to see in this series that I have not previously covered, please drop that topic or ask your questions in the description box. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So today I want to talk to you about FARS Part 16505. And in FAR Part 16505, you will find the different types of contracts, specifically like indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity contracts. And it's going to talk about, so in my previous video, let me back up. In my previous video, I did a video on contract types. And so within the contract types, we talked about the firm fixed price contracts, and we talked about cost type contracts. And I want to go and do a little deep dive, if you will, and go into the different types of indefinite quantity, indefinite delivery contracts, or IDIQs. Um, for an IDIQ contract, they are typically made up of contracts where the requirements are unknown and the rules governing IDIQ contracts are in FAR Part 16505. And specifically, there's like typically, excuse me, information regarding like ordering in 16505. And they will govern contracts that are like the Army chess contracts. Sometimes the GSA contracts will not be covered under 16505 because GSA is covered in 8.4. So remember, when the rules that are applicable under a 16505 chess type contract, or if you're doing a multiple award IDIQ contract, those rules are not the same as contracts that are cut from GSA schedules, because those are two different sets of rules. But moving back over to something that's similar to like Army chess, governed under 16505, some of the things, the big ticket items that you would need to know um, is like in terms of protest, the protest window for a order under a IDIQ that's following the rules of 16505 is like $10 million. I'm going to check to see if the threshold went up, but you would have to, the order itself would have to be over $10 million for you to, if there's something wrong in terms of wanting to file a protest, before you can file a protest. Those are multiple award, typically multiple award contracts, specifically with chess, and they're broken down by the segments or sectors that are being serviced. And for the awards under 16505, you have to make sure you are doing fair opportunity, or offering fair opportunity to the different vendors within those IDIQ or the multiple award schedules, not schedules, the multiple awards vendors on that are on the under the IDIQ. So with the IDIQ, you can have a requirements contract, meaning if you've awarded a requirements contract and it's only one vendor that you've committed to up to the ceiling or the expiration date for that requirements contract, you've committed that every time that we have a requirement, let's say it's for asphalt or paving roads or whatever, whenever we have a requirement, we're only going to go to this vendor up to whatever dollar threshold you assign to that contract, and or the time limit you've placed on that contract. Let's say it's for a dining facility. You have an IDIQ. So by IDIQ, you can have an indefinite quantity or indefinite delivery, meaning you don't know. At some point you could, for an indefinite quantity, you don't know how much you're going to order, but you've placed a ceiling, let's say not to exceed $5 million. So up to that $5 million mark, you can keep cutting orders off of the IDIQ. And usually you can tell it's an IDIQ type contract because the contract number will look like the 6-digit DODAC, the year, which is the 6-digit DODAC, the year, the 2-digit year, whatever year it is. So this is 25. So the 6-digit DODAC, the 2-digit year 25. Then the next um, character will be a D. And so D indicates that it is a base award to an IDIQ. And then after the D will be 4 digits after that. And so that means typically there's no money on the award. But when you go to make an award, or when you go to award, if you're from the contracting perspective, the person awarding the contract, if you're awarding an IDIQ, you always have to award the first task order the same day as the IDIQ. So at a minimum, you're doing maybe like the minimum requirement, or if you have something to get it going, like if you did a statement of objective, now you're going to put the that if you did a statement of objective requirement that required a performance work statement as a deliverable for order one, then you're going to put, in most cases, the either the minimum requirement on the contract to give to the contractor, but ideally from the government's perspective, you want them to work for that money. So you're if the minimum requirement is like $5,000 or however many dollars it is, maybe you can put something actionable on there like the performance work statement. If the base awards on a statement of objective, then you can let the deliverable for task order one to be the performance work statement, and they are now building out what the requirement will be for task order one. The beauty of using IDIQ type contracts, especially if you're operating in an area of an unknown, is you are able to have each individual task order act as a standalone contract, if you will, because the funding is at the task order level. And um, it's cleaner to break if for whatever reason, if the contract isn't working or the contractor isn't working, it's cleaner to just cut ties after you've met your minimum requirement than to continue down the road of something that is not working. You know it's not working, but you're pumping all this money into it because your contract structure was wrong. So for the people who are writing the contracts, an IDIQ can be a good instrument to help you with agile contracting. It's good to help you to pivot. For those who are supporting from a contractor perspective, an IDIQ, it can be beneficial to you as well because it gives you the opportunity to make adjustments, if you will, on the orders where and you're not locked into something that you know is not working. So I know that was a mouthful when I talked about requirement contracts. I talked about indefinite quantity, indefinite delivery. I think I hit quantity in terms of the dining, starting with the dining facility contract. Now, the last one I want to talk about is an IDIQ in terms of indefinite delivery. Let's say you know exactly how many you're going to need in terms of, not how many, let's say the quantity, let's say the quantity is going to be 500, but you don't know when you're going to need to have them delivered. That would also fall into an indefinite quantity, indefinite delivery, and IDIQ. So in that instance, you need to have 500 total. So you may not know when you need to have them delivered, but you need 500. So you can get your pricing established, and maybe based on however many, if you're ordering in batches of fives or tens, get it so that as you are ordering more, that the cost gets more economical, or as you're ordering over time, based on the numbers that you've previously ordered, that the pricing would go down based on the number you're ordering overarching. So those are examples of when you would see, and so the quantity is known, but the delivery on when you would need them is not known. So those are the instances when you would use a requirements contract, an IDIQ, or for quantity or delivery, would be in the best interest of what you're buying. So that is all I have for you today, in terms of IDIQs and indefinite quantities, indefinite deliveries, and also requirements contracts. The one thing I have one more tip for you on both sides. Make sure you are aware of the ceiling for your IDIQ, if that's what you're doing, it be it 500 for the quantity or 5 million for the dollar amounts. But make sure not only are you aware of the ceilings, but someone is tracking the ceilings, because the worst thing that can happen is you blow through the ceiling, be it dollar value or quantity, and you don't have something in place, and you haven't properly planned, because no one was watching the dollars, if you will, to put something in place. And then you're now looking at potentially a bridge contract until you can get something in place to replace um, the overarching contract you may have had. So that's the big takeaway I would like to offer on both sides, the government contracting staff or the contractor, to make sure that you both are monitoring, so that you don't get in a situation where you're having to last minute do a bridge, and having the incumbent, if you're not the incumbent, to file a protest if you wanted the new contract, because they want to keep getting that money. So just, yeah, it can get messy and ugly, especially during times of economic constraints. So just be mindful as you're looking at those types of requirements, and as you're placing out those types of requirements, that you are aware of the entire playing field, if you will. Now that's all I have for you all in terms of FAR 16505. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, you thumbs up and like this video, and share it if you know someone who can use this content and grow from it, because it's free. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for your support, and thank you for watching. Have an amazing rest of your day, and go be great. GoPro, stop recording.